Hey guys, Tightrope here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We're on Taranto Coastline, playing today spawning on the right way of across the Pacific with Wehrmacht, straight away locked into Mechanized. On the left hand side is Sapphire with the US forces. There's heavy weapons, armored and airborne. This is a Patreon backer submitted game. The rankings across the Pacific is 340 and Sapphire is 250.
Grenadiers have been mustered for battle.
So usually I would suggest capping first before planting wire. It's only a 3-second delay, but it's just a little thing. And you can usually get the capture order, give it the order, queue up the wire, then queue up the next capper command after that. Small little thing. Guessing this is talking about the Ironclad tournament, maybe? Had a lower elo bracket. Definitely want to remember to queue up the capture commands, the next option. You want to right click to the edge of the capture circle, shift, right click there, right click to the next circle.
Grenadiers assembled.
Not a huge problem though, but just always want to be most efficient, especially, you know, just get yourself into good habits and at the start of the game when there's nothing happening. But good reaction times there, cancelling these sandbags. And into the first fight with the riflemen, they have the worst cover position. So they decide to back out. Can't really leave cover in the situation. Just an early retreat there. Fair enough. Want to make sure you're in cover now after this, because pretty high chance the riflemen like run up to here now. After you've just seen them attacking down here, pretty high chance they'll run to here, so you want to be in cover. Right click drag from this direction. Probably still going to get steamrolled by two riflemen, but if he comes for a one-on-one, you might stand a chance.
Grenadiers have been
Cover
mustered
boost.
for battle.
Seems like Sapphire try and do a bit of backing up and shooting, but the scouts do get overrun. Seems like he maybe ran out of micro a little bit there. He's trying to back up, but now they're getting encircled. 3 squads. Decent idea. So this is a bit of a problem. You don't really want to be sending in units one at a time. You see you're going to be outnumbered 2-on-1. Even if you've got a heavy cover position, riflemen are just going to be able to run at you and win. And you're just going to lose ground, lose ground, lose ground. So you need to set up a fight a little bit further away, where you can fight like a 2-on-2 from superior cover, ideally. And try to fight from there. Because you'll lose more ground immediately, because you're fighting from further away, but you'll stand to win the fight, so you'll get more territory in the long term. But it looks like this is a pretty aggressive build from Sapphire. No second scout, just went 4 riflemen. So it's usually maybe a little bit slower hitting the map, because you don't have a second capping unit hitting the field early on. But then a lot of power right now, and backing this up with some early medics. These guys are a little bit low. I think it'll be hard for AcrossThePacific to notice he's up against 4 riflemen. Hard to have that read, but if you do see that, you can maybe think, okay, well, I've got 2 options. I can try push out an early light vehicle to harass them, or I could go for Vet 1 training myself from the officers' quarters, get healing myself, get a little bit more firepower on the Grenadiers so they can actually fight back against the riflemen. Maybe back that up with like a machine gun as well. As I'd say, are the 2 best options. And he's decided to go for Luftwaffe Company. So the Fast 221, a great option here. Decent attack from the pyros here, but you do have to worry on Taranto coastline about these retreat paths. This could be a squad wipe coming up here.
Confirmed. Light vehicles can now raid enemy territory and capture resources.
So not quite enough firepower to look for the wipe on the riflemen. But I think this is the right thing to do. Try to leave like the weakest squad out the back capping.
The enemy have taken
While
our
the two healthier
territory.
grenadiers stand on the front lines closer to the action. And even in that situation, you might consider like merging of one of them and low. Merging, making the second squad full strength. And then like retreating this one afterwards. If it works out, if the model counts.
221 scout car deploying.
Trying to wrestle control of this garrison. I think overall, like even if a race was won to this building, just probably with the squads being so low in health, making the move in the first place, you're not going to be able to hold out for long enough. And it's not like there's anything up here that you're really fighting for at this timing. It's not like you're stopping them from pushing back onto the fuel or anything like that. So there's just not really that much of a point in making that push. Instead, maybe just like sitting behind cover, waiting for the 221 arrive,
Sector lost.
and maybe doing some healing. I think one of those two greens was Vet 1 at the time. Could have been more effective overall. That's not a huge problem. 221 I felt like did arrive a little bit late. I wasn't paying attention to the exact timings, but
Jaeger light infantry on
could have come in about 30 seconds faster. I often make those mistakes myself, but you know, every second does count. So Jaeger's first Jaeger getting upgraded with the Shrek.
The enemy has taken a victory
221
point.
on capture mode. Do have to worry about maybe this Grenadier getting wiped on retreat, so this is where the 221 needs to come back into its retreat path and look for potential intercept situations. So it doesn't die on the exit. But yeah, the 221 needs to be fighting during this window to make full effect of its timing window before the Greyhound arrives. I would also suggest probably taking the Shrek off focus vehicles. Looks like it's gone for a merge here. Because, you know, it's got like a 5% chance to land an 80 damage rocket. And that can make like a huge difference in these close range fights if you could just like snipe off a model. Bazookas, sure, leave them on focus vehicles unless you're trying to kill the cover that the unit's sitting behind. But for the Shrek, I generally think let it shoot at infantry. Its reload's not that long. Can really help. But overall, I think the approach I would take is just upgrade this with the recon package. And then be prepared to upgrade this to the 221 Panzerbuchse afterwards. And just make sure that you have Fausting units within range. Such that if the Greyhound does arrive, you can just snare off it and the 221 survives for long enough to get the 2 Panzerbuchse done. Yeah, I prefer going for the Panzerbuchse. I know some players can get by just with the 221 and do things with good positioning and stuff, but I'm not quite that adept.
That wound looks serious.
More replacements. Enemy forces have claimed our territory.
So, units spending a little bit too long on base here. This was maybe like an auto cap kind of situation. Forgotten about the unit. It's going to get wiped on retreat. To be a little bit more cautious when a unit like a Greyhound is on the field. Just like capping even slightly extended. Such a high chance of getting wiped. But as across the Pacific at this stage, probably would be looking to pick up a flak gun. A team weapon from Luftwaffe company. Just can help shred through the riflemen. provide a little bit of extra support against the Greyhound. And then probably after that a Whirlwind. Looks like he's stalling up for the Stug D call-in. It's an okay choice. I generally think it's not as good against US forces as it is against Brits. So they're a little bit more mobile, you know, they're better at running and gunning. Not as cover reliant as the Brits. So they're kind of slow, lumbering Stug D. It's just not as effective. And generally you can kind of lose your grip on the game at about this stage when the Greyhound arrives while you stall for it. I wouldn't be taking a risk on a capture here when you're this high in VPs as well. You can see so far the Greyhound having a pretty easy time avoiding the Shrek. Solid grenade there though, no dodge from Sapphire, that's big. Looks like he's taking bars next. He's picked up a 4th rifle as well. It's a huge amount of infantry pressure and this can be really hard to overcome. Now this is definitely a situation where you want the Panzerbuchse on the 221 even further because now you've got a different vehicle to serve the anti-infantry role.
The enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
So you need still need some more anti-tank support to handle the Greyhound. And that's what the 221 can provide, and could be even a decent spot to get the radar going on it at this stage as well. Bit of muni float. Okay, here comes the Stug D call-in. A little bit clumsy with its start here. But lands a nice hit. Forces a mass retreat.
We have lost control of a victory point.
He should be able to win the fight for the north. Maybe he can even use the healing afterwards. So looking pretty good up here. Sapphire maybe paying a little bit too much respect to the Stug D. The Greyhound could still be in here doing damage. He knew that the Shrek had retreated. Could even be an idea here while instead of just sitting in the circle waiting for the decap to happen, just to run to the fuel, get the capture going on that, and then queue up this afterwards. Especially when you're on this amount of VPs. VP captures is not that important right now. Looks like he's trying to use the 221 to capture though. Alright. I think at this stage I'll be using the 221 more of like a anti-tank support scouting unit. Yeah, maybe even the 8 router is like a better consideration than the Stug D, but I wasn't too impressed when I played with the 8 router so far this patch after its changes. Didn't notice much of a difference. Decent idea there with the big old blob into the retreat path. Grenade into the retreat as well. It's what you want to be doing, setting up wipe opportunities like that. With the Stug D, you'd managed to get 2 shots off, and there have been good ones. I think there was a wipe chance. Don't really want to be leading the way with Shrek just charging in here, though. Want to be fighting from cover, ideally. There's not a huge amount of it here. But keeping Ingredient next to the Stoss, very good plan. And Sapphire paying the price for not getting any repairs for a very, very long time. Not like he's been inactive with this Greyhound, lacking confidence with it. Oh, it's taking 1 shot worth of damage. Good. Switching the target priority over to the Rifleman, forcing a bunch of retreats. Maybe an opportunity to heal and build sandbags here. And the map control quickly changing hands in favor of Across the Pacific. At this stage though, you probably have to be thinking, okay, we're at the 15-minute mark now. Probably still a little bit too early for Sapphire to be pushing out a tank, given that he went for both bars and the Greyhound. But it's on the near horizon, so why not shore up the anti-tank at this timing. By freeing up the anti-tank at this timing, or by securing enough, they'll free up the Stug D to do more damage.
Rollout of long-range spotting scopes to our vehicles.
Because it just doesn't have to worry about getting flanked by a Greyhound or a Chaffee or anything. It can be a bit more aggressive. Okay, spotting scopes coming online for that.
Point is under enemy control.
Definitely want to mine like on this flank route as well. It's usually like one of my first munitions expenditures, you know, during those first kind of skirmishes with the pyres and stuff. After if you win the fight for this, just coming back here, chucking a mine down, just pretty much always pays off at some stage on this map. Might take a while, especially at this kind of rank bracket where maybe sweeping isn't as prevalent.
This should hold you for now.
Stug D doesn't have much to do at the moment. Just chipping away at the base. AcrossThePacific with a nice VP lead right now. There's Stug D. Could easily get out positioned by the Greyhound. Greyhound doesn't want to sit still because the Stug D can land some nasty hits on it. If it's allowed to. The Stug D needs to be involved in these fights, otherwise the Wehrmacht infantry cannot really win. The Greyhound being a bit of a nuisance here, but capping on the top side. The fact that Sapphire is not attacking in here means, okay, he's trying to set up a wipe on retreat. Probably need to be sending the Stug D into the retreat path as well. But I think these units should be able to get away alive as long as this retreats early enough and maybe the Pyos soft retreat along to the top side. Oh, I was wrong though. Taking more damage than I expected. Oh, and they dropped their Shrek too. It's like one of these rifle squads actually has a slot open. They could pick that up as well. Pyos retreating there, that was just a pure panic play. Definitely would have been better to try soft retreat them along to the top side than give a manual retreat order. And 221 used a little bit recklessly here. Could easily have just taken a snare and died. Have to be a bit more conservative with the range. Okay, 221 smoking. Oh, but that's big. Greyhound got a little bit too close to the action. The drop Shrek making the difference. And the Greyhound goes down. Really good time for that to happen now before the Sherman hits the battlefield. AcrossThePacific now in a bit of a bind. Has put down Tank Depot. Right about there for a tank now, but oh my goodness. The Sherman laying some nasty hits. A late retreat. And the squad gets wiped just like that. That was a really great string of attacks from that Sherman. This is where you don't want to be extending. You've taken some huge losses. You're about to hit your power spike of a next unit. You need to be playing more defensively, sitting in cover, making sure you're not going to lose another unit on retreat. Make it hard for the enemy to push into you rather than making it easier for them to catch you out of position. He actually landed a pretty good hit there, but has no infantry support anymore. Strigdy's definitely getting lucky. It looks like it's going to be a Panzer IV for AcrossThePacific here. Could consider popping a smoke on the Stug to try and secure the Stoss's retreat. Not necessary, looks like, but a decent option.
Their self-propelled artillery
And I would say if Across the Pacific like had kept both of his pyros alive, maybe constructing a med bunker, we got like a lot of
Enemy
minis
forces
floating,
have captured a victory point.
could be
An
the option.
MG-42 team is ready.
Does take a little bit longer to produce and costs a little bit more. But, you know, in a long-term economy game, if you're playing against US forces, if you don't have casualty clearing or casualty recovery, as they now call it,
The enemy
you're
holds
just going
all
to fall
victory
behind.
points.
Very, very hard to keep up. So I feel like against US forces, it's kind of munitions dependent. If you've got quite a lot of float, you can easily spare it. And you've got 2 pyres, so you've got a bit of build time. Fair enough. Or you could always do the build time trick where you
The
start it
enemy
with
has
the
claimed our
pyres and then
sector.
start some wire next to it with the grenadiers. And once they've finished the wire, which only takes like 3 seconds, they'll start building the bunker as well. They can help get the bunker out a little bit faster. That's a trick I use all the time, and people always ask me in my PV videos why I'm building wire in my base, but that's why, because the grenadiers can come in and help with the auto construct.
The infantry are trying to kill us! Grenadiers are on fire! There's another one! He's dead! He's him!
So at the moment, the Stug D is kind of out of position. It needs to be with the rest of the units. Isolated like this could get itself into some trouble. It's got no AT support. Sapphire maybe could have capitalized on that a bit better. Probably wouldn't be able to kill it, but maybe like 2 or 3 shots on it. Put it out for repairs for a very long time.
Take his position! Fight!
I'm not sure if AcrossThePacific is aware that the scout's back here, but I'd say setting up a wipe on that would be really nice at this stage. Because this is where knocking that out can make a huge difference to your map control this timing. Panzer IV in here without the Shrek. Oh, and took a snare now as well. Pretty sure AcrossThePacific knew about the second Sherman. Attack rounds, though. I think Sapphire paying too much respect to the smoke should just drive through. Know that you're not up against AT guns on his side, because he's gone for a Luftwaffe company. So there's less to fear. It does get the kill on the P4 anyway. But yeah. Charging through smoke is a decent option. Shrek tags the Sherman though. Scout did end up dying, so it looks like Sapphire wasn't watching. That just, it's surprising how much of a difference it makes to the US map control, knocking out their scouts. It's a really, really big deal. So that was a nice pickup. Recruit and get the machine gun out of there.
Eyes for us. Hand them out.
Strid's in some deep trouble. AcrossThePacific starved for fuel. Not able to push out another tank, getting overwhelmed by the vehicles. So I think this one's pretty much over at this stage. So we'll do a bit of a dissection here while we're still on the map. So yeah, early game, it was okay. Like the first, like when you're in those kind of fights on this map around this area, you kind of, it's just like a game of patience. You just kind of have to sit in heavy cover, because whoever runs out of heavy cover is just going to lose the fight. Like maybe the US player has a bit more flexibility. Maybe they can run at you and win because riflemen are just way stronger and better at firing on the move. But for Grenadiers, you don't really have an option. And you do have the pose with enhanced vision, so you can kind of like just creep up a little bit, see where the riflemen are. And you can use that instead of just charging forwards out of cover. Because those first couple engagements do make a really, really big difference to your map control. But yeah, I would say overall, I don't know. I'm not super convinced by the Shug decalling against US forces. Maybe the 8-Rad would be worth a try instead. It's a little bit more mobile, has more squad wipe potential. I think it just works better against their unit compositions. And then support that with the 221 Panzerbuchse. Overall, the support play was maybe a bit lacking there. Just, Shug D needs to be with more AT support more often and just enhancing your pushes, like bringing it along with your units, forcing a bunch of retreats. And then with your weak units after that, you can like gobble up the map. The strong units continue to push forwards with the Stug. That's how you get the most damage done. But yeah, I would say, you know, a couple too many squad wipes, maybe contesting this area of the map. Fell a little bit too far behind on infantry and allowed Sapphire to just dominate the map with the extra capping power. That's the thing with US forces, you know, they tend to have like one extra squad than you and often have like 2 scouts, which is just like really nasty for gobbling up the map super quickly. So it's very easy to fall behind on map control, especially as a Wehrmacht player who's, you know, quite more reliant on like fighting from cover, using support weapons, stuff like that. So maybe that's where the 8-Rad can allow you to be a bit more free with the mobility, and maybe on a map like this as well, like units trying to contest these fuel points, the 8-Rad has a much better chance of like chasing and wiping on retreat than the Stug does. And overall, it's like a cheaper call-in, so you could maybe get like 1 extra unit without having to stall up so many resources and just allow for a stronger composition from like the 7.5 to like 12.5 kind of minute mark. Having 1 extra unit on the field. Yeah, pretty much covers it.
Sector now under enemy control.
Nice to see some friendly banter.
Our territory is exposed. We must re-establish a connection.
I think going to the rank bracket as well here, where comebacks from these kind of army size differentials is just not as common as they would be at the lower ranks. Much harder to get those lucky comebacks. Your opponents are just less likely to throw. Breach might have been the better option there.
Remaining. Luftwaffe company targeted by the enemy.
So he did end up using it. The squad came in for a Faust instead of just attacking from max range. Oh, probably got the kill there, especially because they're Vet 3 Grenadiers with a super long range Faust. Merge into the Stoss if possible here, always a good option. Save a huge amount of manpower.
Our front line failed.
Oh, and there's the Pershing. Well, that's the death knell for sure. AcrossThePacific are just unable to get a meaningful amount of fuel income going. Don't think he ever
We
got
have the tactical advantage. We must make a stand.
support. Yeah, so couldn't even build a Armada if he wanted to. In these situations, it can be okay, If you feel like you're getting like completely fuel starved and you're not going to be able to scrape together enough to make a martyr or two for a bit of anti-tank support, to just side tech and build 2 packs or something like that. Can work reasonably well. Yeah, it takes a bit of experience to understand when the window's gonna happen like that, and you hope there's never gonna happen like that, because that means you're getting lumped up real bad. That starved for fuel.
We're losing men here.
The enemy has struck. We must retreat.
I'm hit.
Yeah. Final thoughts that I haven't said. I'd say, like, really, if you're going for the 221, you have to be like super focused on its build time, because that window when it arrives before the Greyhound hits, that is like where you do so much damage with it. Completely sweep back onto the map. It's really, really important. Even like 30 seconds there makes such a huge difference, and can maybe like hit, you know, if you're really early with it, you can then harass the enemy's fuel, maybe delay the Greyhound even. It's big. And then you have to be really active with it. Can't even be like 15 seconds without it like shooting at a squad. It has to be like zooming around the map, forcing retreats everywhere. Maxing that window. Well, anyway, guys, a wrap on that. If you like what you're going to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.